What's up, Dead Drawers, and welcome to episode number 68 of Dead Draw Gaming, a Pokemon TCG podcast like no one ever was. We have a super exciting episode for you guys today, so if you are hyped just like we are, make sure to hit that like button down below and share this podcast with all of your friends. So before we get too far into today's agenda, let me go ahead and introduce you guys to my co-hosts who are with me every single week. Hello, Danny. Hello, Darrin. What is going on today, boys?
Hey, everybody. Darrin here, and I am just speechless at how good that sounded, Dan. Wow.
Thank you.
That was nice. Your new mic is great.
It's crazy what nice equipment will do, huh?
It's true. It is. Personally, I'm doing very well. I'm happy to say I have a friend over tonight coming to visit all the way from North Dakota. So,
whoa.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm good. I'm just excited. I'm happy. The weather's kind of crappy, but here we are recording. Danny, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hello. I am super excited. I sent off our cashier's check today for Ultra Prism, so that wasn't that fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's not fun because you spend a lot of money, but
It's
then you
not
get
as
your
fun as
boxes.
it could be.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for this weekend. Getting stoked for all the Ultra Prism that we're going to be opening. I've been watching the pull rates, and they are not too bad. It looks like they're better than what Crimson Invasion offered, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the Marshadow pin collection that I opened the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
that Darrin edited and posted. It's the first time I opened something for YouTube in a long time, and I'm glad that it delivered.
Yeah.
And I still can't get over it. So I'm excited for that. Other than that, I'm doing just fine. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well. Just in response to the pull rates on Crimson Invasion, pretty sure you could buy Dollar Tree packs and get better pull rates, but
I mean, probably.
But anyways, I'm doing really well. I'm excited for my new microphone also. Oh my gosh, it's so nuts. Oh, you guys. And we had four YouTube videos go up in the last 7 days at least, right?
We had five.
Five. Look at that, you guys. We're doing
Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, wow. You guys, look at that. We're doing the YouTube thing like we said we were going to, so it feels really good. Feels very good.
We got to keep it up.
Yeah, definitely.
1 week is easy. It's doing it week 6, week 10, week 14. Yeah.
Week 30, 12.
That, holy moly.
We're actually at 930 subs right now on YouTube.
Yep.
It's getting super close to that 1,000 mark.
Which is also very exciting.
That is very exciting, yes.
Do you guys want to know what we're going to talk about today?
I do.
Are we talking?
Do you guys want to know what we're going to sing about today?
What are we singing about today?
I want to hear it, Dan.
I'm not singing. We got some Pokemon news heading your way. Start out like we always do. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Dallas Regionals. More of a meta forecast for you guys. And then we had a listener reach out to us and ask, can you guys talk about what to expect if you're going to a regionals for the first time? And that's what we're going to talk about for the third topic of the week. Then we'll do our weekly top 5, our question of the week, our buy sell trade of the week, our open discussion, and our wrap. So I'll pass it off to Danny and Darrin for some non-TCG news. It sounds like we've got a lot of Pokemon Go news, so that'll hopefully fill in some of the space that we would normally give you guys with TCG news because we don't have a ton of that, but I'll pass it off. Hi, Darrin.
Well, hello. So let's start off with the big thing. Just today, a whole bunch of brand new Pokemon have fallen into our world. There are 23 in total, and most notably, we've got Aggron. Aggron is also a new raid encounter, and he's kind of beefy. But this guy, he looks like he's going to be like the big hit from this wave. He's a rock steel type, so his resistance is great, and he's just bulky to boot. Plus, the really cool thing is that you can find shiny Aerons floating around out there. I caught myself one Aeron today, not shiny, unfortunately. Some other Pokemon that came out today include Wishmer through Xcloud, Nosepass Numel and Camerupt, Torkoal, Trapinch through Flygon, Cacnea and Cacturn, Lunatone and Solrock, Baltoy, Claydol, Lileep and Cradily, and Anorith and Armaldo. Very cool. One other thing to note, Lunatone and Solrock are the regional Pokemon. They are going to be flip-flopping between regions fairly commonly, apparently. So it's not going to be like weeks with one and weeks with the other. It sounds like it's going to be more like a couple days with one, a couple days with the other, and then they're going to switch back and forth. So yeah, that's our big news today. We have some other big news. EX raid invites went out yesterday, and guess who got one?
Dan
got one.
I did. I sure did. Oh,
So did
man.
Darrin.
I've played like 3 hours of Pokemon Go in the last, I don't know, year probably.
So
should I log in and see? I'd have to update my app.
Here's the deal. I talked Dan into doing this raid at the Pokemon Community Day,
Which was very fun, by the way. I had a very good time doing that.
there were probably 35 people in the raid because it was Community Day at this garden. There were hundreds of people there. And it was a Tentacruel. Like, it was just this little crappy raid. So we crushed it without like anybody even losing one Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And Dan, for his second raid ever, is going to go try to catch a Mewtwo.
That was my first. I've done one raid ever, and I got an EX raid pass from it. So, needless to say, I'm the best at Pokemon Go.
Apparently, I think it's confirmed at this point. So congratulations to everyone else who got their raid passes. Some other quick news for Pokemon Go. This is kind of neat. For 27 minutes, Pokemon Go was completely unavailable due to an expired SSL certificate. So, I mean, I experienced that. I think, Dan, you did too. We were both trying to open the game and it wouldn't work. That was because it didn't work anywhere.
Yep.
I enjoyed that.
Darrin was like, "Oh, there's a Grimer outside." So I tried to open it up and I was like, "Oh, I cannot sign in."
Believe it or not, that was my very first Grimer. I had a Muck already, but I just could... This is just one of the Pokemon that has always eluded me. So my Gen 1 is almost complete.
Nice.
I did not get a raid pass. EX raid.
Danny, did you participate in a raid?
Nope.
Well, then I think I know why you did not get one.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
But that's it for Pokemon Go news for now. I mean, it's great that we have these rock and ground types rolling out. I feel like they maybe could have flip-flopped Kyogre and Groudon for the big legendary. That would have made a little more sense.
Yep.
What are you most looking forward to catching, Darrin?
Well, I've caught my one Aeron. I definitely want an Aggron, but I'm also super hyped on Armaldo. I would love to get myself one little rock bug that has water type moves.
Low key, Aggron, one of my favorite Pokemon. Love Aggron. Also, all the fossils, like every fossil Pokemon is cool, right? Like, I like all of them. There's not one that I dislike.
Fun fact for you, the first deck I ever played against in a tournament setting was Mega Aggron.
Wow.
And I 2-0'd him.
I would hope so.
That's a nice start.
I was playing Metacham.
Hey, that's perfect. You can't ask for a better matchup.
Literally everybody was probably hoping that they would either play me or my opponent that day. But that's besides the point.
To be fair, when Primal Clash first came out, I also built a Metacham deck, so I can't throw too much shade.
It's a fun deck to play.
Yeah, what's not fun about attacking twice in a turn?
Yeah, exactly. Fighting stadium, strong energy. Bada boom, bada boom.
Muscle band.
I used Silver Bangle.
Oh
yeah, that was the thing then.
That's fun.
Yeah. Like my sound effects, those are cool, right?
Yeah, that was really well done.
Thank you. I'll be here for at least another hour. Let's talk some Pokken Tournament DX.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
Because why not? The entire championship series for Pokken Tournament DX has been confirmed for this year. As previously reported, it begins in February in the Oceania International Championships in Sydney. But now we have further detailed information, there are 3 additional qualifying events. One is at the North America International Championships, which they still haven't announced yet. So we'll still wait on the date and location for that, even though history would be around the 4th of July weekend somewhere in Indianapolis. Then there's one at the Sheffield Regional Championships in the UK. That's June 16th to the 17th. And then at the Last Chance Qualifier at the World Championships in Nashville in August 2018. Did we know for sure that they were going to do a Last Chance Qualifier?
There's an LCQ for Pokken?
Well, no. I mean, the Pokken tournament is going to occur at the Last Chance Qualifier. So that would lead you to believe that there will be an LCQ for the TCG.
Can you read the whole what? Hello?
Yeah, interesting.
That's what it says.
Do you think that's like an accidental leak, like a sideways, oops, well, we just announced an LCQ?
It might be, because there's still, I mean, they don't have the information for North American International, so that's not updated on there, but it specifically says, and this is Cerebi, so it's not like it's a terrible site for information. It says at the LCQ at the World Championships in Nashville in August 2018.
Interesting. That's very cool. Well, it's awesome.
So hopefully there will be an LCQ, which means, Dan, you're still in it.
I mean, there's going to be some like prerequisite you need to have for the LCQ, I would imagine. So
yeah, probably like a certain amount of streaming hours.
That's
Yep. Or maybe play points.
Never know. All right, let's move on. I got something else here. Maybe. The global mission. The 3rd Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon global mission has finished in a success.
Ooh.
This global mission's theme was to win at the battle agency and was a success at 1,111,490 battles won. As it was a success, the gift of 2,000 festival coins or 4,000 festival coins if the game is connected to the global link is now available. So Dan, you can go ahead and collect your festival coins.
Can you, Dan?
I don't know if I can collect my festival coins or not. I guess that it would depend on if that's something you can do when you still haven't played the game.
And you definitely cannot.
You can't.
Yeah, well, I guess I can't. I can't get mine.
Rip the dream for the FC.
Ugh, sadness
Feels
for
bad.
life. Real
Yeah,
life
it's too bad.
sadness. Yo.
One unique thing. Oh, go ahead. Were you going to say something global mission related?
Nope, go ahead. You finish up the global news. I was going to talk about VGC 2018, but...
You should talk about that then. I'm done with global news. I was going to move on to something else.
Okay. The VGC 2018 got a huge shakeup this week. So we, as you may be aware, we are days from the Dallas regional event, which is going to be the largest TCG regional in Pokemon history. But it is also a very large video game tournament, and we just found out that 4 moves are banned. These moves are Curse, Forest's Curse, Power Trick, and String Shot. These moves are temporarily banned until version 1.2 can come out, which will fix a glitch in the game that will cause your opponent's game to freeze if you use those attacks.
Interesting.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously they had to ban them for the integrity of the game. You can't have your finals be between 2 Snorlax using Curse just to see whose game will freeze first. But it's just a very big shakeup, so close to a major event. Can you imagine if we're just a few days away? I think Christopher Szymanski was saying this on Twitter. Can you imagine we're a few days away from a gigantic tournament and all of a sudden a couple major cards are just banned? Like we're going in and all of a sudden Trainer's Mail and Battle Compressor are banned. That's really going to mess some people up.
That is going to mess some people up.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but any VGC players out there, if you are playing in Dallas and you didn't already know, you cannot use Curse, Forest's Curse, Power Trick, or String Shot on your teams. There you go.
There you go. Moving right along, another non-TCG related news thing. That's just kind of something small, but pretty cool. Amazon have announced a special unique channel in North America within their Amazon Prime service dedicated to Pokemon. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, You can sub to Dead Draw Gaming on Twitch for free. And you'll also have access to Series 2 through 5 and 10 to 16 of the Pokemon anime series, as well as a regularly rotating selection of the Pokemon movies. So that's cool. So if you have Amazon Prime, head over to twitch.tv/deaddrawgaming. Make sure to sub to us using your Amazon Prime account, and then you can go watch some Pokemon while you're watching Dan.
Yeah.
That really tied in well together, didn't it? That wasn't even planned.
That was nice. It's almost like we're professional now that we have this mic.
Yeah. Just, good for us. All right. Should we move on to some more TCG, more closely related to the TCG related news? Wow, that was a terrible sentence.
Yes.
All right. I do want to talk about, and this is kind of a bigger piece of news, but there was a bunch of pre-releases that were supposed to happen over in Europe last weekend that got canceled. So I'm just going to read the actual article here. We've been made aware this morning that the Pokemon Ultra Prism pre-release stock has been stolen in transit to Asmodee, United Kingdom. We are working on sourcing additional product to allow stores to run events next weekend. However, it will not be possible for the below-listed stores to run pre-release events for the Pokemon Ultra Prism set this weekend. So there are, I don't know. I didn't count them all, but probably 50 to 75 stores that are affected by this. According to witnesses, 3 suspicious figures were seen near the delivery truck before it was robbed. One was described as a brash young woman with red hair, the other an effeminate male, and the third a talking cat. That's Poke Beach playing a little joke there. So, I can't believe that happened. Have we ever heard of anything like that before?
Not in Pokemon.
Yes, Pokemon just seems like such a strange thing to steal in bulk. Wow. Yeah, I haven't heard of it. That's crazy. I feel really bad for those European players.
Yeah, it's I can't believe that happened. It just kind of is a jaw-dropping thing. But we did have pre-releases over here. None of those got canceled, and it seemed like everything went really well. Darrin, you didn't have any pre-releases over the weekend, right?
No, I did not. I did other things except work at pre-releases. I think this is the first pre-release I haven't worked at all in a long time.
Did you do Crimson Invasion?
I did.
Oh, that's right, you did. I do remember that now. Cool. Well, we can move on.
Getting our EX raid passes.
Actually, maybe. But yeah, we can move on. How about this? The legendary Pokemon distribution.
This is really cool.
Yeah, so TCG products were announced for 2018, plus a bunch of other stuff. So I'll just read this here. TPCI said that this is going to be a legendary year of Pokemon. From February to November, legendary Pokemon will be featured across the franchise, including monthly video game distributions, new TCG products, and mobile games, retail, and animation promotions. The TCG-themed products have not been announced yet, but it looks like we do know what legendaries are going to be available in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Let's see. So February is going to be Dialga or Palkia. So it's going to be Ors. Hold on. Let me look.
So it'd probably be for depending on the version that you have, right?
Oh, yeah. There you go. You're smart. You guys are so smart. March is going to be Regigigas and Heatran. April will be Raikou and Entei. May will be Xerneas and Yveltal. June will be Shiny Zygarde. July will be Tornadus or Thundurus. August will be Groudon or Kyogre. September is Latios. October is Reshiram, Zekrom. And November is Ho-Oh Lugia. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. I didn't really read the rest of this. Is there anything else important in this article?
No, not really. I just think that the whole idea behind it, I love when TPCI does like campaigns, and I just like the whole idea behind it all, that there's something, because when there's not anything to look forward to, it makes things a little stale. Like we have Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that came out now, and there's no real idea in the pipeline what's going on except for possibly a Switch exclusive game. So I like when they do these campaigns and stuff like that, just because it gives you something to look forward to.
And so one thing that this also does, for at least what it looks like, is maybe debunks any myths about a Gen 4 remake coming. So the article does go on to explain that the February release being Ultra Prism. February, March, we get Gen 4 legendaries. May and June, which is when the next set comes out, we get Kalos legendaries. So possible that we would get a Kalos featured set. And then in the September set, or excuse me, the August set being a Hoenn set when you get Groudon, Kyogre, and the Latias.
Gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
Again, it's possible. Not even necessarily that this is true, but it does point some fingers, I guess.
You know what they say about pointing fingers?
If you point your whole hand out and no fingers are pointing back at you,
then you're just holding your hand out for someone to shake it.
Yes.
That's a gentlemanly thing to do. What's our next bit of TCG news? Danny, what do you got?
Dan, you got anything you want to talk about?
Dan,
sure.
Dan, what do you got?
Basically nothing left, but we do have Ultra Prism theme decks that are coming out. Going to be, oh my gosh, featuring is the word I was looking for. The deck's going to be featuring Garchomp and Empoleon, both coming out in Ultra Prism. And we're also looking at a possible errata for Cyrus Prism Star. So it looks like this card was probably mistranslated coming from Japan. TPCI did say that there is a errata in the works. So the card read that you only had to have a water or metal Pokemon in play and not as your active. So
yeah, that needed to be fixed.
So it looks like we'll be seeing an errata for that,
dude,
in the next coming weeks.
Man, so if you're out there and you're like, I really couldn't make it to a pre-release and I'm not looking to open a whole big box, I just really want to play Cynthia and Garchomp Lucario, go buy 2 Mock Strike theme decks. Because then you will have 2 Cynthia, that's a good start. And then you're going to have your 4 Garchomp and you're going to have 2 Lucario. That's a great start.
I was talking to Charlie before from Ludkins to see, hey, we're going to open up all this Ultra Prism. Is it worth holding on to these Cyruses that are inevitably going to get a reprint and an errata because they will be less available? He said, probably not, because the original printing is probably so large and so big that there will be just as much available of the original print as well as the second print. So it's not really worth holding on to. So I said, okay, then we will move forward with pre-orders.
I'm really glad you asked him, because that is a very good question that I'm sure some people would have been wondering that. I was.
Yeah. I was asking him solely because if you remember, Electrode got errated from Evolutions, and he made the recommendation to hold on to those, even though it was such a widely produced set. It's a set that is more collector valuable, so it would be worth more way down the road to hold on to some of them. Right. So I've been hoarding a bunch of Electrodes that you have to attach it to a lightning Pokemon. So that's why I asked him about Cyrus, because I figured, hey, there's not going to be as many available. But he seems fairly confident that there are going to be a lot of boxes open for this set. And I actually disagreed with him. I think that a lot of people there's a lot of vendors out there who aren't opening any Ultra Prism at all. And I'll talk more about pre-order pricing later on down in open discussion. But it's pretty insane right now.
Dang. All right. Well, dang it. That's pretty much all we have. Other than, I'm sure if you follow any Pokemon news, you saw that the Gold Lunala and Solgaleo GXs are in the English set. They are just ridiculously hard to find. At least in the pre-releases they were.
Yep.
Yeah, the only other little bit of news I have is that PokeBeach now has all of the scans of SM5 Plus, so you can go on if you haven't been listening to us break down the leaks every week. They're all listed for you now on PokeBeach in one nice lengthy article. So I think we've talked about everything. I don't remember if we talked about Energy Recycler being a secret rare, but this is probably the most depressing secret rare.
Really?
I'm not excited about this as a secret rare at all.
How about Rotom Dex? Were you excited about that one?
Nope.
Energy resets at least, or reset, excuse me, recycler is at least played in like Bulu.
That's fine. I don't play secret rares.
Well,
So
neither do I, but
I'm just, I wanted it to be a
the most depressing.
more exciting card.
Like Rotom Dex.
No, okay. What is a trainer that has not been printed as a secret rare
Ever?
that needs to be printed as a secret rare?
Floatstone.
Battle Compressor.
Okay, Battle Compressor coming back in format.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be something.
It would be bad.
Yeah. As long as it's not also printed, with Night March. I feel like if Night March and VS Seeker are not a thing, Battle Compressor is still not bad, but not necessarily. Like, those two cards, like, really make it good. Like, it's really not that good without those cards, right?
No, it's not. It's not like you're going to Battle Compressor away supporters and then pad them back into your deck.
No, but you would use maybe like energy to discard energy for
right. Yeah, of course.
That kind of thing. But
yeah, but less broken than what it's been in the past.
Yeah, it would still not be a
true.
bad card, but yeah, it wouldn't be busted.
Yeah, I was hoping for like maybe Fighting Fury Belt.
Sure.
Oh wow,
Max Elixir, like keeping those in the format a little bit. That wouldn't be bad.
That's right. Those are two great choices. Did you call PCL and tell them that?
Well, they just heard us say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look out, SM6 Plus. Here we come.
I think that's all we've got.
I don't have any more news.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm also out of news.
Awesome. Well, what's our next topic? Let's move on.
Dallas Regionals.
Ooh, baby.
So earlier this week, one of our 5 YouTube videos, and one of those 5 YouTube videos was a meta discussion where I sat down with 3 of the pro team Dead Draw Gaming members, Rukan Shao, Frank Persick, and Noel Totomuch, and we just sort of talked about what to expect, what kind of tech cards you might see, what the meta looks like, and literally the whole meta is Zoroark. If it doesn't play Zoroark, it's not winning. Basically, is what was talked about.
Can I just say something? Just clear the air for a second. This is somewhat on topic to what you just said, but somewhat off topic also. So I was just bewildered the other week when I was looking at just researching Zoroarks online, trying to get good prices on them. And I looked on TCG Player, I looked on eBay, I looked on Amazon, and I was looking for what the availability levels were of Zoroark GX and Tapu Lele GX. And there are way more Tapu Lele GXs available for purchase on those sites than Zoroark GX. Yeah, Zoroark GX is 25% of the cost of Tapu Lele GX. So I understand the argument that Tapu Lele is played more, but I don't necessarily think that it is anymore.
It's really probably not. Maybe in standard it is, but for expanded it's not. So one question I would have for you is, did you take into account all 3 rarities of both cards?
Yeah, but that should play an impact more than in Zoroark's favor as far as being more expensive, right?
Not necessarily, because the box, right? Tapu Lele didn't have a box promo and Zoroark does.
That's true, but Shining Legends didn't have a booster box.
No, and that's
Guardians
true.
Rising is probably the most opened set ever, I would assume. Right up there with Evolutions.
Yeah. I guess it's not surprising to me that Tapu Lele is still more expensive, but
all I'm saying is
it's a little confusing, I guess.
Hold on to your Zoroark GXs and buy them up as cheap as you can, because I think it's going to be a $40 card come August.
Wow.
I'm calling it now. When the collection boxes sell out, which they have, you can't get them from distributors anymore because everybody's been buying them up. And you look on Amazon and there's some that are like $200. Ridiculous price. I'm telling you.
Man, good
calling it now.
Looking out. I like the bold call. We'll come back to you in August and find out how that panned out.
I just hope I'm right. All right, so that was off topic a little bit, but I needed to bring it up. So Dallas. Dan, did you have fun doing that video?
That video was a lot of fun to record. And very, from the host side of things, our panel made it really easy on me, right? Like I didn't have to talk a lot. And I just kind of sat there, and I imagine it was pretty easy to edit for Darrin.
It was. You know what I did?
Very, very smart.
I snipped off some on the front, snipped off a little bit on the back, and listened through just for any beeps and buzzes or big spaces, and there was nothing. Like, it was great. Easy editing, man.
It's easy. It was easy hosting. Those guys, and they're so smart, you know. So it's a lot of fun. So if you guys are looking for maybe a little bit more in-depth discussion on it, make sure to head over to youtube.com/deaddrawgaming and find the Dallas meta discussion video. But that was all the same thing. Like, there might be 5 people who play Wailord. You know, there's going to be quite a bit of Night March, but that also plays Zoroark. You might have some Buzzwole. There's probably still going to be a little bit of Gardevoir, still a little bit of Volcanion and Darkrai because people just love those. But Zoroark, Lycanroc, Zoroark Toad, Zoroark Golisopod, Zoroark, name a thing.
You don't think there'll be a lot of like Garbodor
people
variants?
are playing that? No, probably not.
What about Excelgor Wob?
Zoroark. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say a lot to anything plays Zoroark, honestly. Trev maybe gets some, but I would imagine that at least 80% of the decks in Dallas. So there's 1,051 players registered. I would imagine that 800 of those players are playing a version of Zoroark.
I think that's a little high. I think that there are going to be. So, I mean, first of all, that goes back to what I was saying before about Zoroark being played as much as Tapu Lele, but I do think that there's going to be way more than 5 people playing Wailord just because of the buzz that it's gotten over the past couple weeks, over the past month even. And there were really good players who were posting good lists online. I don't think that they were ever seriously considering taking it to Dallas. However, posting online where they top at a League Cup or win a League Cup with it, and then you get a bunch of players who may not be professional players that are like, oh, this won a League Cup. Wailord, super cool. I want to play a mill deck. I'm going to play that. You know, it's kind of a psychological game that a lot of pro players, I think, take advantage of, and they post those lists out there for other people, more casual players to take and use. And I think you're going to find, I think Wailord will be more highly represented than, 0.5%.
So, sure, maybe 5 is a little low, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't expect to run into it through 9 rounds, I guess. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not like, oh, got a tech for Wailord. Because a lot of people are playing Bunnelby now. Like, a lot of people are like, okay, we're just going to make sure Wailord is not a thing. And everyone's playing a bunny. Pretty nuts.
What about Volcanion Turtonator?
Probably not.
I think you're vastly underestimating the amount of players that are going to this event. There is no way that... I mean, I think you're going to see a much bigger variant. Like, I agree that Zoroark is going to be huge numbers.
Maybe. Is Volcanion playing Zoroark now? It probably could.
I don't think so.
Discard those fire energies so that you can baby Vulcan back on.
Well, you can already do that with Steam Up, but yeah. Now you get to draw 2 cards.
Sometimes you just really want
a different stadium. You don't got a Scorched Earth anymore?
Yeah, then you don't need Scorched Earth. That's exactly right. Wait, hold on.
Do you have room to fit another line in there like that, though?
Did any deck have room prior? No, but everyone does now. Zoroark's too good.
I actually don't hate this talking we're doing right now.
Stop it.
Hold on. Dan, I don't hate this. Volcanion, Turtonator, Zoroark. Can this happen? I'm gonna think about it. I'm not a pro, so I don't have to be ashamed about thinking about bad things. Don't make me ashamed.
Bees is getting a little hype.
That's right. I've heard about some bees lately. That's for sure.
Yeah, Danny, you like bees.
I love bees.
So Danny is gonna go to Dallas, and Danny's gonna play bees, and Danny's gonna win Dallas with bees. It's happening.
Yeah,
also he's not going to be opening up any Ultra Prism with us.
yeah, we're
'Cause He's going
canceling.
to be too busy. He's going to be too busy winning Dallas. The rest of us will do. The rest
Don't
of us
worry.
will do all the opening.
Nah, he's gonna get second because I'm gonna bring my Volcanion and completely smash his bees because of
'Cause he has
weakness.
I would be able to beat Volcanion, so I'm not worried about that matchup, but I'm also not going to Dallas because
Oh,
I am going to be here. But if I was going to Dallas, you're right, I would win with bees.
Yeah. Danny
You can
just
ask
lets other
anybody.
people- Danny doesn't play so that other people can win.
that's nice of him.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
I mean,
It's for the community.
yeah.
That's what we try to do at Dead Drug Gaming. We try to make the community an overall better place.
Always giving back.
Yep, we can't do that if Danny's winning 16 regionals a year.
Oh, that's right. So what's going to win Dallas? Don't just say Zorak variant. You need
I
to
gotta
tell me
pick
exactly what Zorak build is going to win.
The one that plays Seismitoad, but is not Lonzo.
Is that what? So, gosh, I'm trying to think of what that list looks like then.
So Lonzo is the one
That's
that plays
two, right?
Muck.
Yeah. Is it 2 toads or 3 toads?
So the Toad list that I was testing with Frank has 3.
Okay.
So 4-3 Zoroark GX with 1 foul play and 3 Toads. Mm-hmm.
Darren, what do you think is going to win Dallas?
I think it's going to be Lycanroc Zoroark. It's just
Wow.
very, very good.
Darren, you know you can play Night March in Dallas, right?
I know. I love Night March. I love it. It beats Buzzwall Garb. That's nice.
True. True. Darren and I were playing that matchup at League this last weekend. It didn't go great. But I'm also bad.
I love Night March. I mean, of course, I hope it takes it. It's so hard to get past the power of Lycanzoro. Like,
The power of having supporter effects as your abilities.
exactly right, yeah. Like, here, let me use my Guzma, and then I'm going to discard a card and draw 2, and then I'm going to do it again, and now I'm going to end you. Correct.
Yeah. Very good. Very, very good. Man, I wish I was as good as Lycanroc Zoroark.
Yeah,
Anybody
I'm not gonna disagree. I think that I want to go with the safe bet and say Lycanroc Zoroark is going to win, just because of how good it is. But I want to see. For some reason, I just have Greninja stuck in the back of my mind as like a much better deck than what people are giving it credit for. And I think that you'll see it definitely have some spots in the top 32.
I think that's pretty probable, actually.
Well, maybe in like 38 or 39, because that's how many will be at day 2. But
That's fair.
I don't know. I don't know about interesting. I'm also not a pro player, or even like less than a pro player.
I want to see Night March win, but realistically, you know what? Yeah, let's not be safe. Let's be bold, because you never win by being safe. There's no glory in safe. I'm gonna say Night March takes it.
Tapu Koko, Dusknoir, Necrozma.
Nope, that's not happening.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I'm going bold. Going bold.
I'm just trying to think of
bold.
all the different variants, and I think that it's going to be more surprising than what we're necessarily expecting. I don't think the top 36 or 37 is going to be made up of all Zoroark. I think that there's going to be a lot of Zoroark, but I think there's going to be a lot of surprises. You have to think of if that was the case. So is Zoroark right now a variant of Zoroark as dominant as, let's say, going into Fort Wayne Night March was?
Yes.
Is it that much more dominant that it will take? How many spots in the top 36 do you think a Zoroark variant will have?
25.
Wow. And are you talking about Zoroark
At
as
least.
basically the main attacker?
No,
or
just
Zoroark
in the deck.
in
So
the
that
deck?
would include Zoroark, Lycanroc, Toad, Glisopod, Night March, Lonzo.
Okay. I just feel like we're ruling out so many strong decks then. So you're saying basically, so Greninja, let's list the other decks here. Greninja,
Maybe one.
Primal Groudon, Wailord,
Doubt it.
Excelgor
Probably
Wob.
not. Feels bad.
Hold on, let me finish.
I'm just lightning round.
Just Toad Bats, Toad Lasers, and those are Trevenant. Like I'm saying, Volcanion.
Trev seems likely.
These without, like you're saying, all of these decks, basically between, let's say 10 to 12 other decks.
Sure.
So out of those 10 to 12 other decks, there's multiples that are not getting a spot in the top 32.
Right, but I think we got to look at this in terms of, okay, so let's talk Memphis real quick, right? How many of the top 37 players in Memphis were pro players?
A lot.
And how do you think you would imagine the same in Dallas, right?
I think so too. The bigger the
I can't
tournament,
imagine that a lot of these pro players are going to be playing anything but Zoroark. And that's why. I mean, maybe I'm overestimating how represented it's going to be in terms of just the mass amount of people playing it. But I can't imagine that you're going to see that much variance in day 2. I think that Zoroark is going to be a vast majority.
What do you think the likelihood is of some pro player or some player figuring out what destroys Zoroark and then sneaks in and wins the whole thing?
That would be awesome. Maybe not necessarily awesome, like unless it's one of our players, then it would be awesome. But the likelihood seems pretty low. But it would be cool, you know.
Doesn't it always seem to go that way
something.
though, where there's some deck that just comes in and just doesn't lose because it's the matchups?
But man, there's even been Greninja decks that have been playing Zoroark, right? I mean, I guess it'd be nice to see because like Zoroark is one of those things where we've always had, you know, support Pokemon that were played in virtually every deck. Lele, Shaman, Jirachi, Claydol, you know, whatever it ends up being, Uxie. But none of those Pokemon have been good attackers, right? And now we have a support Pokemon that's a very good attacker that's literally splashable in everything. It would be nice to see, like, I don't want Zoroark to necessarily take up 25 spots in day 2 because it would be nice to see other things come in and do that. But I don't foresee it happening.
All right, if it does take up 25 spots, let's say, and then we move forward and we have Oceana, and then we have Collinsville, and let's say it takes up 25 spots there. Let's say it takes up 75% of day 2 moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Does Pokemon need to look at then doing a limited list with their next quarterly announcement or something of that nature? Because Zoroark then is literally breaking the format. And is that bad for the game?
I would say that Zoroark's already broken the format. Not necessarily broken it, but like and see here's the argument. Like I don't think it's bad for the game because like we have those other support Pokemon, but because the good thing about Zoroark is that there are a lot of variants of it. You know, it wasn't like Night March where, okay, you're playing Night March, you already know at least 55 of the cards that this person is playing. With Zoroark, you don't know that. You don't know that. If a person flips over a single Zorua, okay, there's Zoroark, but that's common. You know, how many different versions of Zoroark are there, especially in Expanded? So I don't know that you can make a limited list, especially just for one card, because limit it to 2? How much are you really limiting that at that point? You know,
Right. No, that's fair. I just don't want to watch Zoroark on stream for 9 rounds facing against Zoroark. Attack, Acerola, attack, Acerola, rinse, repeat over and over again.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to see that either, but unfortunately, seems like a pretty good likelihood that that's reality.
Dang.
I guess we'll find out in a few days. And I like Zoroark GX. I like the card. I think it's a cool card. Like I think it's good. I just don't want it to be the card that I don't know. I don't think there's anything we've ever seen like it where we can compare this to it.
Well, no, like I said, there's never been a support Pokemon that had such a good attack.
Right. There was thought and speculation that Tapu Lele might be that because of Energy Drive being somewhat decent, but it turned out not being as great as what the original expectation was.
Well, I mean, Energy Drive is still a good attack, but the fact that it hits for no weakness, and not only that, but the fact that how many attackers do we have right now that are either ending their turn with 2 or less energy? So you're hitting for 110 with the choice band. That's not a huge number.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, Zoroark's dominant. So do you remember before Shining Legends came out? Or maybe even just after Shining Legends come out, we talked about Gardevoir being too good.
I remember.
Gardevoir's not even being talked about right now.
Something better came along.
So, who knows? It could happen. It could happen again. We have the set coming out for Ultra Prism. There's a lot of good cards in Ultra Prism, but it doesn't seem to be anything, meta breaking. But who knows? There could be a thing.
That's very true. All right. Well, we'll see what happens this weekend. There is a stream. We're going to be paying close attention to the stream while we're here streaming ourselves, opening up a bunch of Ultra Prism and hanging out. So we'll keep a close eye on it. We'll talk about it more next week, the results, and we'll see what happens. That's fair, right? We'll see how it goes.
Definitely.
Cool.
I am very excited. So yeah.
Me too. Awesome. Well, let's move on to our next topic. And we did have somebody who is a frequent customer on our website kind of talk about they're going to Dallas this weekend. They don't really know what to expect. They've never been to a regional before. So we wanted to kind of talk about that. And I guess we'll start out with Darrin here. Darrin, what do you expect when you go to a regional? Or what should you expect when you go to a regional?
Well, your regional experience is always about how prepped you are for it and your expectations. So going into it, if you're going to go into it and you think that you're going to be number one, you're going to take it home, you got to keep in mind only one person gets to do that. So what it comes down to then is your prep work. If you are going to play and you want to be number one and super competitive, you have to be putting in the practice. And I have a special edition podcast coming out featuring Ryan Turner where we talk about exactly that, how to practice and become the very best you that you can be at Pokemon or, in general, of course, too. Otherwise, what you need to expect going into a Pokemon regional is that it is going to be an event. Like, it's going to be a zoo. There are going to be more people there than you expected. And you're going to be bumping arms. You're going to be running into people. You're going to lose your friends and try to find them for 20 minutes. You're going to see so many cool things that you wish you could buy and so many things that you are going to buy and try to fit into your luggage on the way home. When you go to an event, you're going to see people that you hear about on Facebook, people that you've only read the articles of. They're going to be there. You're going to maybe even shake the hands with an official stream commentator,
The Kyle Sukovich.
It's possible. It's these large regionals are the epitome of the Pokemon trading card game. It's what it all can be. It's almost magical, if you go into it with the right mindset. Now, I know...
Darrin, do you remember the first regional you went to?
Oh, I totally remember. My very first regional, I went with a large group of friends. We road tripped overnight, got a really crappy hotel about 2 miles from the event center, which I would not recommend. And then when we got there, I thought I was ready to go. Like, I had my deck all prepared. I had picked it out a whole 2 weeks in advance and had practiced daily. And I won my first round. I was playing... Are you ready for this?
I know what it is.
I don't.
I know this story. I was there.
I was playing Gourgeist Gardevoir. Spirit Scream Gourgeist with the Psychic Mirage Gardevoir. It was basically a kamikaze deck. You just would attach one psychic energy to your Gourgeist, hit Spirit Scream, both your Pokemon would go down to 10 HP, and then I would use lasers to knock out my opponent with poison damage in between turns. And then on the way back, though, my Pokemon only has 10 HP, so easy knockout back, right? Not a well thought out deck. It was just all aggro, no defense whatsoever. And I won my first round, and then my second round was against a very extremely well-known player who was nice enough, but I was a beginner. And so he had to put up with my slow playing, and he had to put up with my bad decision making. And finally, it came down to it was going to be a tie, and I felt bad because, I mean, this pro player who everyone knows and runs his own article site, he was going to lose, or he was going to tie with me. So I gave him the win because it wasn't fair. And at that point, I had lost the tournament. I lost all my motivation. I played the next couple rounds before I dropped, and it wasn't great. But that was also a year that you could play video game as well. So I went to start playing video games the next day because I wasn't obviously going to make day 2. And I was doing okay for 2 rounds, and then I did bad. Like, I won 2, and then I lost 3, so I dropped. And then the next round, Jimmy announces that everybody in the VG tournament is going to get this prize, and I lost everything. Like, I was so frustrated and angry. Like, I just dropped, and now everyone that's still in the tournament is going to get free swag, and I'm sitting over here twiddling my thumbs. That's an example. Dang. Yeah, so my first regional experience, it was overall magical, but the tournament itself was harsh because I didn't prepare enough, and I just didn't respect the level of play that I was going to be encountering there. It is a leap. It is a serious competitive leap from going from your local tournaments to a regional. So that's the biggest thing. Just come into it knowing that there's going to be a hurdle to jump over if you want to do well. And if your enjoyment of the weekend is based on how well you do in the tournament, you might have a bad time, honestly. The rest of my weekend rebounded. I had an amazing time. We found an amazing place to eat called the Great Dane. If you're in Madison at regionals, you probably should go to it. Dane. And it was a great enough time that I came back the next year, and the next year, and the next year, and then I moved here. I live here now. So I got to say, without Madison regionals, I wouldn't live where I do now. It's 100%.
Same.
But it was nice because going back to, I guess, the topic at hand somewhat, you had a group of friends that you were able to go with to your first event, right? So that helped out.
That's right. I did not go alone. They were there to pick me up when I felt low, and we all had a great time together. It's, Pokemon is a social game. It's just going to be a lot more fun when you find people to play it with.
Yeah. And I think, my story is kind of a completely different one from my first regional, because my first regional was the regional that I met Dan, and I didn't go with anybody. And I had not really played at a league or anything like that. I played at a league for like 3 weeks, and I knew 1 or 2 people from the league that I was like, oh yeah, I'll meet you up there. I didn't really know anybody. I just got in my car, drove, and was like, I'm going to go make the best of it and have fun and try and have a good time. I played Dan round 3, and Dan was probably like, why does this guy keep coming over by me after every round asking me how I'm doing? And it's because I didn't really know anybody. So I relied on the matches to kind of meet people and just be friendly. Like, I just went in with the best attitude I could. I didn't know what to expect. I got there probably about half an hour before registration. So I kind of just sat in my car for a little bit, then went in, got everything checked in, filled out my deck list, brought that up. They went through my deck, made sure it all matched up. The one thing I wish I was more prepared about was like the eating and drinking situation, because I didn't bring anything to eat or drink, and the line for the concession stand was super long the entire day, and I was playing a Toad variant, so all of my games basically almost went to time, so there was literally no time to eat at all, even though there was a lunch break. By the time I had finished the round before lunch break, the line was already so long that I would have made it through the line and eaten, and my round would have already started. So I think that you really need to definitely bring something to eat or drink. Maybe leave it in the car, or at least have a hotel that's close enough that you could go back to that during lunch break or something like that, I guess. But eat when you can. Bring plenty of water, and just go in there with the best attitude that you can, and feel like be open to meeting people, because the community is great. Like, you meet all these great people all over the place. Community is very accepting of new players, and they're very encouraging of new players, and there's a lot of players who are willing to give you advice if you ask for it, and that's a great thing. But like Darrin said, like, there's going to be a ton of stuff that you want to buy, walk around, meet people, introduce yourself. If you're looking for more of a competitive thing, make sure that you test like crazy beforehand, but get a good night's sleep the night before.
Yeah, your sleep the night before is way more important than last minute testing. It's no joke. Staying up till 4 a.m., making sure that you have the right tech for a potential deck you may see, that's just not the way to go about it.
So whether as a player or a vendor, or even at one point in time just as a spectator, I've been to 12 tournaments, regionals or bigger. And in 2 of those tournaments, I lost my winning in for day 2. And I've never done better than that. But what I can tell you after 13 tournaments is that the best part of any Pokemon tournament is the social aspect. It's not how well I did or how poorly I did, or just even playing the game. Like, sure, we go to play Pokemon, but I've always cared much more about the people I'm going to see when I'm there, because outside of my work life and my girlfriend, the people that I talk to on a daily basis, the people that I call my friends, 95+% of those people are people I've met because of Pokemon. It's the reason I know Danny. It's the reason I know Darrin. It's the reason that Dead Draw Gaming is the thing. And the first regional, sure, there's a lot of people there. Pokemon is also kind of clicky, but most of those clicks, so to say, is very open, very welcoming. There's so many great people in the community that when you get to a regional, do your best to make friends, But with that being said, one thing that Danny mentioned that was very important, and they all talked about, get sleep the night before. 100%. Bring food, bring water. Also, it sucks to say this, but bathe is very important.
Bring a bunch of Febreze.
Deodorant is very important. Take a shower. People will tend to stay away from you if you don't do those things. So if you want the social aspect that Pokemon is so good at giving, make sure you bathe. But as far as like what to expect while playing, it's pretty uncommon that someone walks into a regionals their first time and does well. I went 5-3-1 in my first regionals, but there was only 199 people at that regionals. I got 43rd. So it's not like I did poorly, but I got some packs and some points. Darrin's first regionals was also my first regionals. I also played Sidekick Mirage Guard 4, but I was playing Tool Drop.
Yeah, it was probably better.
So it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I think it was my third regionals ever is when I met Danny. And then
your best regional ever.
I went 5-3-1 at that regionals also, but I was playing Groudon. God,
I wasn't talking about your performance.
This is the most boring 9 rounds of my life. Ugh. And basically every other regional I've done poorly at, and I've dropped, and it sucks dropping, going to a tournament, playing 5 rounds, thinking, you know what, I'm not going to make it, so I don't want to play anymore. Like that, for me, it was always, there's that small part where it does suck, But again, I've always played, like, ever since my first tournament, I've only played Pokemon because of the social aspect that it gives me. The game is fun, don't get me wrong. I love the game, but there's nothing like, getting to hang out with people that live across the country from you and do something that you love with them. So,
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, this is an event where literally everyone there likes the same thing you like, and it's Pokemon.
Everyone shares a hobby, at least one hobby.
So it's very easy to find someone and talk to them. Like, yeah, I don't know. I really love that. One other thing I want to talk about is another good idea is maybe bringing some hand sanitizer, because Conflu is a very popular thing, unfortunately. It's just when you get together with so many different people from across the world, you're prone to catch a sickness or spread a sickness. So bringing a little thing of hand sanitizers, not the worst idea ever. And honestly, the best thing you can do is bring as little as possible. So bring your deck, bring your hand sanitizer, bring a bottle of water, and put it all in like a little shoe bag, just a little bag that you can throw over your shoulders. Don't bring a big backpack.
Like a string bag or a messenger bag is really
exactly
good.
Those are a great idea. Something that has a string on it or an arm on it that you can wrap around your leg, because unfortunately things go missing at regionals, so you have to make sure that you always have your eyes on your stuff.
And honestly, like, it's kind of weird, but the bigger, heavier stuff is the stuff that's easier to steal.
Yeah, and to be honest, there's not a lot of people will bring a ton of cards, for like trading purposes or things like that. There's really not a whole lot of time. Like, you get 50 minutes per round, but with everything that's going on, like, the rounds go super fast, and you use up the majority of those 50 minutes. And even if you do finish up pretty quick, there's still tons of other stuff to do. The only other thing that I would bring is, if you have a cell phone, I would bring a phone charger, because you're probably going to be on your phone a lot, either looking at pairings or doing other things. So bring a phone charger along, just because you're probably going to need to charge your phone at some point.
Great call. One thing that you may think about doing is bringing either singles or bulk to sell to vendors. No word yet on whether or not vendors are going to be buying bulk at any regionals upcoming. I think some are starting to buy bulk again. If you're going to bring anything to sell, have it ready to hand over, because there's going to be a line, most likely. Like Danny said, you're not going to have much time unless you are there on Friday or Sunday and not playing on Sunday.
Yeah, so bring extra stuff, but not with you when you're playing in the tournament.
Absolutely, right, yes. And like I said, just have it ready to hand over. Like, walk up to the booth. Here I have 14,000 bulk exactly, and it's all near mint, and they can take a look at it, and they can hand you your money, and you walk away. It's just easier for them, and it's courteous to all the other customers, all the other players around you.
Yeah, make sure you check your deck list multiple times the night before and the morning of. I mean, that's kind of like, I'm always super paranoid about my deck list when I go into a tournament, because I don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to, like, it's already tough enough to win a match the way it is. So to put yourself at a bad advantage right away by making a silly mistake just doesn't seem like a good idea. So make sure 100% that all of your sets are perfect, and your cards are, if you're doing a written deck list, your cards are perfectly written. There's you don't want to mess up and write Juniper instead of Professor Juniper, or use the wrong set symbol. Like, it's all out there. Just
Or a
make sure you
59
check
card
it.
deck list.
Yeah. Make sure it's all perfect. That's not something you want to mess around with and cause yourself at a disadvantage right away.
Another thing that's really good with that is print off a deck list for yourself as well, or make 2 deck lists so you have one in your deck box with you. And at lunch break, if you have a lunch, check your deck then, because if you play a stadium or something, maybe one of your cards is missing, you can find out what card is missing, so that in a later round, if you get deck checked, you aren't missing that card from your deck. You can go to a vendor and pick one up. Let's say you have Parallel City in your deck. all of a sudden, after round 5, it's not there anymore, you can go buy one real quick and get it back in your deck.
Yeah, how many times do you think Headringer was used in a match, and then your opponent took your Headringer accidentally because it was attached to them?
Yeah, exactly right.
That should happen all the time, I bet. Anything else you guys can think of as far as advice goes? Other than have fun?
I got one more thing. Bring extra money. So bring enough money for, of course, your food and hotel and transportation, right? Of course. And make sure you bring money for your registration fee. But make sure that you bring a little extra, because who knows if there's some emergency happens, or you just see that Pokemon plush that you absolutely have to have. Like, I mean, this is
emergency.
Yeah, a Pokemergency. You're gonna find something, or you're gonna find something that you need, or something's gonna happen that you need that money for. So just bring a little extra for sure. Yeah,
perfect.
I can't think of anything else. Just bring like we've said multiple times, all three of us. Bring your best attitude. This whole event is going to be all about how you perceive it, and if you come looking to make friends and have a great time, that's what's going to happen.
Definitely. One other thing I guess I do want to say, just really, really quick, and we've talked about this a ton of times, and it is extremely unfortunate, but there are people, like when you're playing, especially if you're wanting to be competitive, it sucks, but there are people who cheat. Pay close attention to your games. With all the people there, with all the people around you, it can be easy to get distracted. Just make sure you're watching what you're doing and what your opponent is doing at all times during the game.
Perfect. Yeah, let us know how it goes.
Count your deck after every round. Make sure you have 60. Darrin said, like, during your lunch, make sure, you got 60 cards. No, do that after every single round. Like when you are done with your match, pile your deck.
Yeah, make 6 piles of 10, and you'll know.
Yeah. So just count them. That doing it then is way better than, I don't remember who I played last round.
Nice.
You definitely don't remember what they look like, anything like that. So like just do it. Do the thing. Count 60. Save yourself the trouble.
Awesome. Well, if you're going to Dallas and Dallas is your first regional, let us know how it goes. I love reading about that kind of stuff. I love hearing about that kind of stuff. Let us know what you think. It's nice to get a fresh perspective on things. So with that, we can move into Darrin. What do we have next?
Weekly top 5.
There it is. Dan had it. Dan said it. Yeah, it's the weekly top 5. This week we're going to do top 5 Pokemon tools. And this was Dan's idea. He thought this one up.
Since Black and White base.
Right,
we didn't go super far back, because that's really all that we know. I know a little bit more, but they weren't as good as Tool. I mean, there's some, Expert Belt was pretty good, but it's easier this way.
Agreed.
I feel like I didn't do well on this one.
There's surprisingly not as many cards as I thought there would be, but the ones that are good are really good.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
All right.
Just so I can see if you guys copy me on any of them, because since I haven't played until basically after X and Y came out, I'm not really great with older tools.
Okay.
So I'll start out with number 5, and my number 5 is Fighting Fury Belt.
I'll go second. My number 5, and this is very surprising, but my number 5 is Fighting Fury Belt.
Yes.
My number 5 is Focus Sash.
Ooh. Nice. I had thought about that, but then I changed something else in and was like, never mind. Besides the point. My number 4 is Choice Band.
Okay.
Ooh. My number 4 is kind of a generalization, because there were a ton of them. But my number 4 is Spirit Link.
Whoa.
Okay.
I think
fair.
That's a cheap shot.
I'll give it to you. My number 4 is...
It sucks that that's what made Megas good. But megas were very relevant for a very long time. So
I feel ya.
Spirit Link.
My number 4 is Fighting Fury Belt. It was number 5, but I switched it to 4.
I did not think that, except for number 1, that any of us would have the same. So we're doing it. What's your number 3, Danny?
My number 3 is Muscle Band. Wait, what was that?
No, it's on my top 10. My number 3 is G Booster.
Ooh, my number 3 is G Booster.
Let's go.
I feel better now. You guys are wrong.
What?
Yep.
What do you mean we're wrong?
G Booster was the one I didn't think of, and then I added later on. So my number 2 is G Booster. Muscle Band was such a big card for longer than 6 months, like a year, where it was like a 3 of in every deck.
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
You gotta remember, when Muscle Band came out, it was good, but all of the decks that didn't play EX cards still used Silver Bangle.
No.
And then when rotation hit, around a couple, not that long later, Fighting Fury Belt came out. So now all the basics are using that instead of Muscle
Fighting
Band.
Fury Belt didn't come out until Breakpoint.
Yeah, until Breakpoint, but
that's like over a year.
There was not a lot of time in between Silver Bangle being legal and Fighting Fury Belt coming. So Muscle Band still made it in my top 10, not my top 5. We're not arguing because this
I'm
is
arguing.
top 5.
It's way better than
Number 2
Focus Sash.
Choice Band. Choice Band is my number 2.
Whatever.
Choice Band is my number 2.
I don't know if I can do these top 5s anymore.
What's your number 1, Danny?
Floatstone.
My number 1 is Floatstone.
My number 1 is Floatstone.
Yeah, I figured we'd all
really.
have
Muscle Band didn't make either of yours.
So
it is way better than Focus Sash.
So well, this will make you feel better. I think 10 through. I made a top 10, 10 through 6, starting at number 10. Focus Sash, Life Dew, Muscle Band, Bursting Balloon, Experience Share.
Oh my goodness! You think what? Experience Share and what was number 7?
Bursting Balloon.
Bursting Balloon?
Bursting Balloon literally broke Trev.
It did not break Trev.
Yeah, it did.
Over Muscle Band?
Over Muscle Band. Trev didn't play Muscle Band.
Okay, you've lost your mind. We just lost every single listener. All credibility is gone.
So I did not include Muscle Band because Choice Band is just better, in my opinion.
And it's also legal when Muscle Band isn't.
Yeah.
For standard.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's why it's. Yeah.
I gave you my reason as to why I didn't have Muscle Band in my top 5.
Hey, this will make you feel better, Danny. My honorable mention.
No.
Plasma Badge.
That's a joke.
No, it's real. Plasma Badge is really good.
What?
The salt. I had to go to the store and buy salt for my sidewalks. I thought I'd share some with you, Danny.
All right, I'm gonna regain my composure.
These are so fun. I love these.
Yeah, so that was episode number 68's weekly top 5. How about our question of the week, Darrin?
Yeah, let's move into that.
Oh man, now I have to sing question of the week.
Question of the week. Oh yeah.
Whoa. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you. We're here with our question of the week, you guys. We asked you the same question we dove into earlier in this episode, and that was, what deck is going to win Dallas Regionals in the Masters Division? And we had a bajillion responses again. Let's start with Twitter. We have a response from PokeDread. He said, Garb Buzzwall to counter all the other Pokemon's abilities. Jess Alakazam said, I want to see Beached Whales win for some reason. Also, Jess said, I'm bringing Vespiquen Zoroark. It has pretty good matchups and is very consistent. ADV GYM said, Trevenant, it's just its turn. It's hard for me to pick against Zoro Lycanroc, but Trev can beat all variants of those boys and beats the boy, Night March. The forest will take the field.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
That sounds
intense.
like a movie tagline.
Yeah, he went all in. I like that a lot. 9999 Ben 9 said, I'm gonna win with Meme Trees Kappa. Not literally, he's taking a surprise to Dallas, so he's not bringing trees. Cool. Thank you, Twitter. Let's go to Facebook. So this is where things got pretty cool. You guys had multiple comment threads going. There was a lot of discussion on what you guys thought was going to be number one. Most importantly, let's take the answer that is the obvious favorite. Samuel A. said Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you, Samuel. Yeah. Not just taking Dallas, taking the world by storm, the dogs.
They're taking Minneapolis Regionals.
That's right. The super regionals. A lot of people actually piped up and said Greninja. So Lewis said Greninja, feels like it's being ignored right now. So that'll make you feel better, Danny. Jake says Greninja. Jackson says Greninja, and then there's literally 21 replies to that. But we also have people like Brett Stratton saying Zoroark Lycanroc and linking his...
Hey, I know that guy.
He is one of our AM players, and he linked his recent Zoroark Lycanroc article that is up on deadrockgaming.com. So if you don't know what you want to do for Dallas, still, Zoroark Lycanroc, very good play, and you have a list on our website waiting for you. Arlo said Toad Zoro. Carlos said Volcanion Turtonator. Derek said some Gardevoir variant. And let's finish it off with our Discord, of course. Jumping over to Discord. Let's look at all the answers there. Jumping over to Discord. Oh yeah.
I better hear that when I listen through to the podcast.
DDG Chris with the first response says Night March. F5, blah, 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 blah. 5 says, I want to say Excelgor, but I'm going with Vespiquen Flareon. Ooh.
Wow.
A Welcome Burden says Turbo Darkrai. DDG Cameron says Night March. Tech Colonel says, we all know it's going to be Zoroark Night March. And It's Ryan says Golly Garb. Cool. Thank you all so much for these great responses. I loved reading everybody's discussion. This was a very successful question. I was very impressed. But that all comes down to the next question. What is our question of the week for next week? This week, we want to know, what are your top 3 favorite... No, shouldn't say favorite. I should say, what do you think are the top 3 best Pokemon tool cards since Black and White? Leave your response in all the normal places. Leave it on Facebook, leave it on Twitter, leave it in our Discord if you are a sub on Twitch or one of our patrons on patreon.com. And guess what? Your answer might be featured on next week's episode. There you go. Question of the week. Done.
Boom.
Perfect. Well, with that, we can move into the buy-sell trade of the week. And actually didn't buy much this week except for a ton of Ultra Prism stuff. I did get some Buzzwoles. I've actually purchased 8 of them. So Buzzwoles are selling for about $10 a piece, and I was able to find 8 of them for $6 a piece. So that's not too bad.
That's pretty
Other
good.
than that, I don't think I bought anything else aside from just more Zoroarks. I think that's all I got. Oh, I got a Rocket Zapdos for $4.
Dang.
Who doesn't love Rocket
neat.
Zapdos? It's a cool looking card.
It is cool.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I just bought Ultra Prism, and I did want to talk just real briefly about Ultra Prism. So we talked about pre-order pricing a couple weeks ago and how there really wasn't anything out yet. So pre-order pricing has finally come out, and it actually just came out like a day or two ago. Like, this is the longest, I think, that I've ever seen where pre-order pricing for singles took to come out. Like, the set releases in a week and a half officially, and so a week and a half prior to release, once pre-releases are actually happening, is when pre-order pricing comes out. And some of these pre-order prices are absolutely bonkers. So I'm just pulling up one site here. I'm not going to name the name of it, but the pre-order pricing for the gold Solgaleo GX. Do either of you want to guess?
Oh boy.
$109.99.
You're not too far off.
I'm going to guess $129.
Yep, $129.99.
Jeez. Nutty.
And then for a full art Cynthia, you guys want to guess at that one?
$94.99.
Pretty close.
$79.
$89.99.
Wow.
$89.99. So more expensive than the actual booster box. Then you've got Glaceon GX, the Hyper Rares, $63. The gold Lunala is $50. The full art Glaceon is $48. Celesteela Secret is $45. Full art Lily is $40. The Rainbow Leafeon is $35. The Rainbow Dialga is $35. The Volkner Full Art is $26. The Duskmane Rainbow is $26. The Palkia Rainbow is $26. The Celesteela Full Art is $25. So I went and I looked at eBay to get an idea of what pre-order pricing has actually been selling for. And I added everything up, and the average ultra rare price, so this is average for this set, just based on ultra rares, is $25.
Wow.
Which I do not ever remember seeing pre-order pricing that high. So the question is it because this set is so good? Or is it more because the set is going to be less available than other sets? Because my theory is that a lot of people aren't opening this set because of Crimson Invasion. I think that a lot of vendors are still feeling the effects. I think because bulk is so down that it's really not as cost effective for vendors to be opening up a bunch of sealed products. So we're opening up between 40 and 50 booster boxes. It's really tough to pull value out of those booster boxes. So if we can sell a booster box for $90, we need to pull $90 worth of cards out of every booster box to break even. And when 360 of those cards, of those 396 that you open are worth 2 cents, very tough to pull $90 worth. It helps when pre-order pricing averages $25 a piece. So we'll see how things go. We'll see how the pull rates go from what I've seen so far. Each box typically has between 5 and 6 ultra rares, but then since the prism rares are in there, each box typically has between 2 or 3 of those. So if you're counting prism rares as an ultra rare, you're going to be getting 7 to 8 ultra rares per box. And for the most part, the pre-order pricing for the prisms are anywhere between $5 and $10 a piece. So I was counting them in my average as far as that $25 mark goes.
That's bonkers. So if these prices hold up even a little bit, this is a very profitable box potentially.
Yeah, it could be, especially if you pull that gold Solgaleo.
Wow.
Then you are profiting right away. So I'm super stoked. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get my hands on some Ultra Prism.
Yeah,
I might have to open it all up before you guys get here.
No, don't. No.
Yeah,
all right.
Please no.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about, Mr. Danny?
No. Nope, that's it. Just wanted to say that.
All right. Well, very quickly, I want to talk about Patreon a little bit. This week, I went into Patreon and updated one of our patron tiers. It is our highest tier. For $30 a month, you can get 1 hour of coaching from one of our pro players I think that sounds pretty fun. Plus, you would also get all of our other rewards above that one. So, or I shouldn't say above. I should say all of the other rewards that are available, because that top tier reward is includes a shirt and a mat and like our Discord channel. Like, it's nuts. It's nutty. And so, I mean, if you're interested in coaching and you want it to be from a pro player, that I mean, you could come to Dead Draw Gaming. We are offering it to you. So that's patreon.com /Dead Draw Gaming. Worth looking into. Just saying.
Awesome. I did want to, if we're talking an open discussion, I did want to just emphasize what's happening this weekend and kind of give people a little bit more of a plan. And then I do have, there's one other thing I want to announce quickly. So this is purely order related, and this only pertains to our international customers. We have been lucky enough that for the longest time we've been able to offer fairly decent shipping prices for international customers, and that's why I think a lot of customers are international, because we're able to ship cards, whether it be 5 or 10 cards, typically around that amount there, for between $4 to $6. However, unfortunately, the United States Postal Service has gotten rid of the first class international option, which is what we were using originally. And now the cheapest shipping option for even one card is about $13. So unfortunately, we did have to raise the international shipping cost of our singles on our website. And I do apologize for that. Unfortunately, it's completely out of our control. I wish I didn't have to. So that's too bad. But I just want to make everybody aware, so that way if they go to the website to order stuff and they're like, hey, I thought international shipping was only $6 and now it's $13. That's why. It's because USPS got rid of the option that we typically use, which let us send for, $6 with tracking and everything like that. And we just don't have that available anymore. The other thing I wanted to say was just kind of giving a better idea of what's going on this weekend. So on Saturday, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, all of the Ultra Prism stuff will get here sometime in the afternoon. Papa Blastoise, Aaron Trainer, and Purple Cliff are coming over. They should get here sometime between 4 and 6 p.m. Central Time. And then Dan and Darrin are going to come down whenever they want. But I'm assuming it'll be pretty close to that time that we'll be starting everything up. We're going to do some streaming on YouTube. We're going to do some streaming on Twitch. The big mass opening is going to happen on Twitch. We're going to shoot a bunch of content, but we'll probably be streaming in some aspect pretty much all day. So make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and you follow us on Twitch, so that way you can kind of get all of the action. We're going to be giving, behind the scenes stuff, where we're going to be packing up orders, shooting content videos, things like that, just doing a big IRL stream and just kind of providing as much content as we possibly can. So it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited. As of right now, it looks like we'll be opening it'll be somewhere around 1,700 packs as of right now. If we sell a couple more boxes, then that'll go down.
Ooh, baby.
But we'll see how it goes. So there you go. There's that. Other than that, I don't have anything else. So, Dan, do you got anything for open discussion at all?
I do have one quick thing. Something pretty unfortunate, actually. I'm not 100% certain what the problem is, but I haven't been able to stream for the past few days, and I don't know why, but something with my computer or one of the programs I'm using is causing me to drop roughly 50 to 60% of my frames every single time I hit go live, no matter what is running on my computer. So I'm hoping that this weekend, when we have 3 people who are way better than that stuff than I am here with us, that maybe one of them can help me out, and then starting again on Monday, I'll be able to hit you guys with the streams again. But I was trying to do every day in January, and then 3 days, I streamed for about 15 minutes on what would have been Saturday night and got nothing out of it. Like, it was 15 minutes and I dropped about, it was like 62% of my frames that night. My stream, it was literally unwatchable, and I'm not willing to put out that kind of content at that low of quality. I'd rather have nothing, honestly. So bear with me as I try to get everything fixed up. So I'm sorry that I didn't make it through every day in January, but we did make it 16 days in a row. So hopefully when we get back up, we can still continue that stream streak. Or start a new one and make it even longer.
Hey. Cool.
That's all I have.
Awesome.
So-
Darrin, you got anything else?
Man, so I had a young child come to Pokemon League on Saturday. Me and Dan were there.
Oh my
and
gosh.
we taught him, well, not we, I taught him how to play Pokemon for the first time. And it's been ages since I got to do that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. I was able to teach somebody on Saturday night also. And that was also a lot of fun.
Twinning.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Well,
that's
good for
it.
you. Cool.
That's all I got, man.
All right, Dan, why don't you take us home?
All right, then. So, you guys, if you enjoyed episode number 68 of Dead Draw Gaming, a Pokemon TCG podcast like no one ever was, make sure to hit the like button down below and share this podcast with all of your friends. That is all we have for you guys this week. Make sure to check us out next week for episode number 69. But that's all we have for you guys now. So, for Darrin, for Danny, and for myself, we will see you next time.